Thank you for having me. My name's Aaron Marshall, aka Intervals. And yeah, this is my first time here in Seoul, in Korea. And it's been amazing so far. So it was 2021, and a gentleman by the name of Adam at Schecter USA reached out to me with a cool proposition, and that was to see if I was interested in designing a Diamond Series guitar for Schecter. And Schecter's always had a really strong reputation, and I have a few friends that have signature models with the company, and I was really excited for the idea and the opportunity to design a model. Ultimately, my dream was to have a USA custom shop guitar, but it was a cool project to do a Diamond Series guitar first. And yeah, Schecter has a really strong reputation. Before I was touring full-time and making music for Intervals, I actually worked in guitar retail as well. So I was selling instruments at a shop called Steve's Music in Toronto, and Schecter was a company that I sold a lot of the guitars, and build quality and quality control was always there. So it was kind of an easy decision. And sort of the second part is the people at the company, because I've had a few relationships over the years with different brands, and I think what matters the most is the relationship with the people. And I really like the vibe and the energy of the people that work at Schecter USA. And for me, that was kind of like the deciding factor, was like, oh, there's a really cool relationship to be built here, and it's been amazing, like really easygoing, so like real people, yeah. So I think the idea was to create a really straight ahead guitar that doesn't have a lot of sort of like fancy bells and whistles and all kinds of, 7 different woods and all these different things. I think the idea was to make a like a workhorse guitar, like a really straight ahead tool for modern musicians that demand, many different sounds and approaches. And from what I've learned over the last decade plus as a professional musician and as a guitar player for my whole life, less is more. So the idea was to use like minimal amounts of materials to achieve like a really sort of like trustworthy and confident instrument. So I think I spent less time on worrying about things like wood and more time on choosing quality hardware, and playing around with things like radius and trying to get like the feel, to be really inviting and really versatile. I also designed my pickups with the Schecter USA custom shop, and I think that like in a really minimal instrument, where, for example, in the Diamond Series you have basswood body, and this one has roasted maple neck and fingerboard. This is an alder body with a roasted maple neck and fingerboard. There's only 2 materials on both of these guitars. It's really simple, but so much of the instrument sound comes from the pickups and this 5-way switch. So I think it's a testament to just less is more, and letting the voicing of the pickups speak through like a really confident instrument. You see a lot of guitars, they have 7 pieces in the neck, 11 pieces in the neck, all these fancy woods. It doesn't do anything more for your tone. In fact, I think complicated guitars ring less. There's more interruption in all of those pieces. You take a nice solid 1-piece neck, you put it on a quality body, you get the weight right, you put nice pickups in it, it's done. Amazing guitars. So that was kind of the like approach, was like less is more. Yeah, I think the minimalism and just prioritizing playability and tone, and it's not coming from buzzwords like, you know, fancy exotic woods and things. I think the idea was to just create really reliable instruments that, you know, that sound amazing and do what you ask them to do. Before we created the USA model, we made a Diamond Series first. I toured them exclusively for a number of years, especially after playing many guitars that are pretty fancy and, you know, still have lots of nice things in my collection. Like, I think it speaks a lot to the quality of the instrument and how confident I am in how they're made to be able to, you know, bring Diamond Series guitars only for a number of years to the stage. And then now it's just like a bonus to have these really high quality USA guitars too. They're, you know, they're all amazing. Like, I can do my job on both, no problem. That's interesting. Do I do anything outside of music? Yeah, I'm probably listening to some sort of really nerdy podcast and either, like, you know, on like a super long walk or an adventure somewhere trying to get some exercise or in the gym or things like that. I am pretty obsessed with music, so it's usually something to do with music is happening. I tend to listen to a lot of music at different times, you know. Some artists say they don't listen to music when they're writing, like, oh, you know, it's gonna influence the way I sound or something. But I listen to a lot of music, like, no matter what. I really spend a lot of time, like, listening to music from, like, my childhood or, like, from high school and stuff, like nostalgic music. I find more inspiration there sometimes than modern music and stuff. So I know the question is, what do you do outside of music? But there's usually music going on. I am that guy. Outside of that, yeah, weird little hobbies and stuff. I like to collect things. So outside of guitars, of course, like, I like, you know, shoes and clothes, and then enjoying being in Korea and being inspired by all that stuff. I think, like, it influences, like, the design side of things with, you know, maybe like the band's merch and stuff. Like, keeping an eye on that stuff is really cool. During the pandemic, I discovered mechanical keyboards, which is cool, and I build some mechanical keyboards in my spare time. I know that's popular here in Korea. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. I'm just always trying to learn, I think. So usually a podcast on, or I like documentaries. Culinary shows are cool. I'll watch like some Action Bronson or something. I like food, you know, things like that. So yeah, I don't know, just like nerdy. I'm always like trying to like absorb something new and be inspired. And I think it's safe to say there's always music on as well. So yeah. I think the obvious is the food, for sure. But no, I've always been intrigued by Seoul and by Korea. Until now, I've only been to a handful of places across Asia and Southeast Asia. We were fortunate enough to play in Japan for our first time in 2018. And we had, I told the audience at the show last night, we had a layover at the Incheon airport, but I didn't get to see Korea, so I was really looking forward to coming here. I think the people are wonderful, and the food and style and fashion and things like that are really cool. And I grew up with some friends from Korea in high school and in elementary school and stuff. So like, culture's always been intriguing to me. So just looking forward to being here, and it's just as cool as I thought. I talked about this on stage last night. We have to do it. I would love to come here with the band, yeah. We got to make it happen. It would be amazing. Well, I appreciate the hospitality here at Musicians Club, and everyone we've worked with here so far has been amazing. So it's so cool to come here, and then to fans or maybe new fans, I'm just excited to return. It's a really interesting and vibrant place. People here are so kind and very sweet, and the energy at the show was so cool last night. Even without the band, even just with, with MP3s. So that makes me really excited to see what it would be like to play a full rock show here, for everybody. And yeah, I appreciate, I can see the numbers on Spotify and Instagram and stuff, and I know we have fans here in Seoul, and so that just means a lot to me. And I look forward to coming back.